You all good. You all good. All right, we live now. All right, we going
Live.
live. Well, welcome to another edition of the Sports Senseis. I am your girl Sensei, back with both of my co-hosts this time. I have my girl Jay Nicole. Jay, what's going on? How you doing? What's happening? What's up?
To me? Did you say to
Yeah,
me?
you.
Look,
You.
I was waiting for the whole ASAP thing to do the whole thing. I was like, oh,
I know what happened to our intro. What's going on?
Honestly, me too. But I saw live and I saw a time ticket, so I said we gotta go.
All right. Here we go. We just on. All right. Well, I'm doing great. You see why I got to rep SA today because Greg Popovich, right? Well, I'll throw a little, most winningest coach in the NBA. Gotta throw some love to there. So I'm representing. But I know we're gonna get into it, but you already know.
Ooh.
You already know. We're gonna talk about it because I said that man wasn't done. He wasn't done.
And last but not least, we finally have our good sis back. She's been traveling in the world. She's been doing the damn thing. Ruth, the truth is in the building. What's going on?
What's up, ladies? Yes, I'm back. It's good to see you guys. Yes, I've been traveling, kind of enjoying the off season, if you should say, because I'm on a little, break from school. So I guess I've been enjoying my off seasons like the regular athletes do. But it's great to be back with my girls on the Sports Sensei. We're going to be talking about LeBron James as well and what's going on with the Lakers. Klay Thompson going off in the Bay. And obviously, I cannot wait to talk about this Brady situation because I told y'all.
Listen, since we're already on it, sis, and we're on. Wow, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm so confused. Okay, listen.
They had to calm us down. They were like, "Yo, these ladies are like a little too turned up right now."
Listen, this is how I know today's gonna be a good show, just because it's just been, hey, it's one of those things. But
lots of
energy. So since Ruth and you've already brought it up, we got to start with this first because it's the most breaking news. It's the most current news. Tom Brady, the GOAT, is back. So after 2 months of being retired, being home with the kids, being home with Giselle, he said, you know what? I don't want to help with algebra homework no more. Don't ask me no questions about cartoons. I don't want to hear you call me dad and tell me to come watch something and watch you do something stupid. They'll ask me to feed the kids for lunch. I'm going back to work. I don't want to do this no more. I'm going back to work. I'm actually still playing at the top of my game. I'm still elite. And my team needs me. Like, why retire when I don't have to? Because I'm Tom Brady. I'm not these other guys. I'm Tom Brady. So Tom Brady he's back. So Ruth, I'm going to start with you because you are located in Tampa. I just need to know, since what was because I watched the live, so I know you were on 10,000. So I've seen the live. If you haven't seen it, please go check it out. It's hilarious. But
I love it.
Sis, what was your first initial thought seeing that Tom Brady was coming back? What do you think this means for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as far as free agency and just everything that's about to transpire in the NFL? What does this mean? What's going on? What we doing?
I will tell you, this means one of the biggest things that this means, what this points in the direction is Jason Light's job just got a whole lot easier, the general manager for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because now he don't got to worry about putting up an auction for a Deshaun Watson or trying to get somebody or depending on our second round draft pick, Kyle Trask. I just think things just got a lot more simpler. But now it's time to build. It's time to reload, as I will say, because Tom Brady's not coming back for a rebuild, guys. He's going into his 45 years old. You guys don't understand that he's going to be the oldest quarterback in NFL history. He's not looking for a rebuild. This is going to be a reload for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They need to sign some big names like Leonard Fournette, Rob Gronkowski, his Super Bowl winning buddy right there has to make a return as well. Yeah. They're loading up for another Super Bowl run. I'll tell you that right now. And I'm telling you, everybody in Tampa just got to take a really good deep breath and a sigh. We were stressed. We were stressed with these conversations. With are we going to go get Russell Wilson? Oh, maybe we should go get Deshaun Watson. Oh, maybe we should we were freaking out, not knowing what to do and what direction to head in. But Brady, I told, as soon as he placed that retirement post on IG, I literally told my people the whole podcast that I was doing that week. I said, I don't believe it until it's official. It's not going to be official until I think it was early June 2nd or the 22nd, one of the twos in June, is when the paperwork is going to be final for his retirement. Until that day comes, until that paperwork is signed, because guys, you got to remember, he was still on contract for another season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we had to wait for everything to be officiated before making any, before really boohooing and crying and, making your ordeal, doing whatever you want with his jersey. Like, you had to just wait. But let me tell you, that individual that supposedly thought he was purchasing the last touchdown football of Tom Brady, who paid over $500,000 for this ball. This happened like, what was it? Was it 2 days ago? I think it was like literally like he announced he was coming out of retirement yesterday, and I believe the ball was purchased on Saturday. So like, I'm sorry for that guy. I know that he's probably the only unhappy football fan right now, but man, Brady is back, 23rd season. Let's go.
Let's go. So Ruth the Troop, before I pass it off to Jay, I do have another question to ask you as in regards to this whole Tampa Bay Buccaneers thing and Tom Brady. Do you think that Rob Gronkowski has to come back for that team in order for them to make a Super Bowl run? Like, is that a deciding factor as far as them making that Super Bowl run? Like, if he doesn't come back, is it like they don't have a shot? Like, what are you thinking?
I mean, it's a huge void to fill. Rob Gronkowski is not at that point in his career where he's playing every play and we can depend on him to play the whole 60 minutes of a game. Rob is he's that big impact player that's going to be in the plays and he's going to extend these third down runs. So will it be a determining factor whether or not the Bucs have a chance to make it to a Super Bowl run? Possibly. Rob Gronkowski's big shoes to fill. But I mean, just like how he was able to entice Brady out of retirement to come to Tampa, I feel like Brady's just going to right back on him. Like, dude, if I'm still doing it, what you doing right now? Like, there's no time to golf. It's time to play. Let's get a Super Bowl. I think it's going to be a kind of like a one-on-one. If Rob doesn't come back, it'll be a huge surprise to me.
Facts. Okay, so Jay, I'm gonna pass this on to you, and I'm gonna set it up to you like this, because obviously we're talking about she got the hat, so we're doing it big. So we're talking about Tom Brady and the Bucs. We're talking about Tom Brady coming back. So I'll start with this. What was your first initial reaction, of course? And is this a foregone conclusion that Brady's gonna be in the Super Bowl again? Like, is it foregone? Because you gotta consider this too. Like, he still plays in a division with Aaron Rodgers. I know everybody has thoughts about Aaron Rodgers. He just got this big contract. All of these things that you still have. I mean, the NFC, the Bucs are in the NFC, right? That's the NFC, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I had to make sure I was in the right division. Okay, so the NFC. So the NFC is still tough. Like, it's not, that's not a slouch division. So are they just riding the ship to the Super Bowl, or what are we looking at?
So first of all, I said, Brady, give us one more year, baby. 45. Give us to 45.
Yeah.
Let's for 8 rings. 4 on this hand and 4 on this hand, right? That's what we need.
Yes, sir.
So I am not shocked. I am not surprised. I am overjoyed. Our good friend Kelsey Nicole Nelson posted on Facebook today, does this mean that Tom Brady is going back to their Super Bowl? And I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes, indeed. Now, will he face my Kansas City Chiefs again?
I like it.
I do.
I like it. Let's get it going. I do,
because I think here's what happened, right? Let's say what happened last year. The only reason Tom Brady didn't go to the Super Bowl last year is because Stafford had, I don't know how many seconds in the defense. You know what I'm saying? We all thought
out-of-body experience.
We all thought that game was going to overtime and Tom Brady would get the win. So Matthew Stafford had something special. The defense for the Bucs didn't quite show up, and that's the only reason Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did not go to the Super Bowl. And for my Chiefs, at the end, Patrick was in his head. He didn't show up for the game. Whatever, Bengals got it. But next year, season, I want to see a rematch of the Tampa Bay Bucs with the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's go.
Okay. So here, before we move on, let me just give my opinion really quick here, because I was one of the people that when I first heard Tom Brady's announcement of retirement, I believed him, and here's why. I believed him because he looked to me like a guy who had looked at the totality of his career and said, you know what, I've done everything that there is to do. I've accomplished everything that, that people, I mean, he's a 6th rounder. So like, that's enough. You know what I'm saying? Like he's done over what anybody ever imagined that he would do. Like nobody thought Tom Brady was going to be Tom Brady. Let's just keep it all the way honest. And so to me, when I saw him in the press conferences and saw him on the podcast and saw him, put out the statement, I'm like, this is a guy who looked at his career and said, okay, I've accomplished everything. I was at one place for so many years. I overachieved there. I went to another place the following year, took that team from poverty to wealthy. And I don't have anything else to prove at that point. So, you know what I'm saying? So I believed him. Now, seeing the news that I saw yesterday, because I was watching Selection Sunday, March Madness, I get the alert on my phone and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, are you serious? Like, this dude is really coming back. But at the same time, I'm not surprised because Tom Brady is a unicorn, man. Like, he just is. Like, he's different. He's different. Like, a lot of guys burn out at their late 30s. They don't even get to reach 40 and still be able to play. Tom Brady is about to be 45. And at 44, he was playing the top, like he was still one of the best quarterbacks in the league. That's different. So like he gets all my respect. I think he's the GOAT. I've said this before, like he's not my favorite. My favorite is Peyton, but he's still the GOAT in my opinion because you can't deny what that man has done. Now, do I think that him coming back as a foregone conclusion for the Bucs to go to the Super Bowl? I do not, because at the end of the day, they still got to see the Rams. They still got to see the 49ers. They still got to see, so like they still got.
But Sensei, can we at least agree that the NFC is probably way less competition, less top heavy than going to an AFC? Because Russell Wilson, good luck to you, buddy, but you've entered into Chiefs and Bills territory, like and Bengals all of a sudden. Way more competition.
And I mean, we still got to see what the Titans do too, because the Titans are still there. Like they're a quarterback away. So let's say if they get Deshaun Watson. We looking at something different. You know what I'm saying? So absolutely.
Yeah, and
is this, like I said, it's not a foregone conclusion because Matthew Stafford has tasted the champagne. And that's all you gotta
or the tequila, the 1942.
You know what I'm saying? You know what you're doing.
One and done, Matthew Stafford.
Or the 1942. Once you taste it. Oh, that's what you like to hope, Jay Nicole, but you gotta consider who they're gonna bring. Listen, they have an all-star team. They have an all-star team.
They do.
You understand that? They have an all-star team.
No denying that.
Denying
that. But one and done. Okay. One and done. Matthew Stafford just got his first playoff wins after a 12-year career with the Detroit Lions.
We also got to remember.
Good job. Again, the only reason the Tampa Bay Bucs did not go to the Super Bowl is because Matthew Stafford had, I don't know how many, 1 minute something left on the clock. Defense for
and he still has Cooper Kupp. That was a deciding factor. He still has him.
The Rams, good job, Rams. But when you got TB12, okay, because Aaron Rodgers ain't nothing. Aaron Rodgers, you haven't made the post stop. So really, the Rams is their biggest competition. Did you say the 49ers? The 49ers are a joke. So that's really, they got as far as they did on a wish and a hope and a prayer. So wow. The only real competition to me, okay, yeah, Matthew Stafford, yeah, Aaron Rodgers, but I'm sorry, they're not Tom Brady.
Matthew Stafford literally,
what? Go ahead.
I was gonna say he literally beat everybody's favorite to win the Super Bowl. He beat everybody's favorite.
One and done. We know Tom Brady is consistently good, right? Matthew Stafford, you just got good because you have a whole bunch of weapons. Like I need to see longevity. A lot of Super Bowl. Look, Bengals, I love Joe Burrow too, but like, let me see you be good consistently, right? Tom Brady has just showed you a 20+ career of, you know what I'm saying? They always go into playoffs. They was always going to the
that's fine. But is that defense improving? Are they gonna? Is Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense gonna improve?
Hey, maybe Tom Brady's putting up so many points. It don't matter how good the defense is. Let's see.
He was putting up points last year. That defense failed. Well, how does Cooper Kupp get that open? How does that happen?
Because the
number one receiver gets that. How does that happen?
Because Todd Bowles Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, was calling a very, very vanilla and safe defense in that last quarter of the game, and that's what cost them the game, and that's what got Cooper, Mr. Vanilla himself, wide open to help the Rams overcome the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who were making a very, very impressive comeback. I will admit, the very first half of that game was absolutely terrible. Tom Brady was out of sync. Rob Gronkowski was dropping passes. Leonard Fournette wasn't getting past the line of scrimmage. There was a lot of things going wrong in that first half. But if we didn't have the distractions, if we didn't have Chris Godwin out, if we didn't have those missing links in that locker room, then it would have been a completely different story. I mean, OBJ getting signed with the Rams halfway through the season, that was a really good a golden key for Matthew Stafford in his success in the Super Bowl, even though he left the game with 2 minutes left in the second quarter.
He's gonna come back.
Is he though? Because he's still up on that chopping block, and people know the Buccaneers might be looking to fill that void. We got Jarvis Landry, who is now wide open from the Cleveland Browns as well, that they need to make up.
We're gonna get into.
I hate to get ahead of myself.
No, you're good. No, you're good. We're definitely gonna get into Jarvis Landry. But I'll just end it with this because I just want to say this because, like I said, at the end of the day, I will never count out Tom Brady because he's the GOAT. Like I said, I hate to even admit that because I'm not a Tom Brady fan, but you can't deny that. But it's not a cakewalk. It ain't just a walk in the park anymore. That's just what it is. It isn't, because at the end of the day, like, if they don't make moves on defense, it's not gonna, because Tom Brady can put off all the points he wants. If you can't stop nobody, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, losing Carlton Davis and them having talks of not re-signing JPP or Ndamukong Suh, that's a big hurt on our defensive side of the ball for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I mean, this is all in the offseason and the draft. We got the offseason all ahead of us, free agency, players to sign. We got the draft coming up as well. There's a lot of things that could fall into place for the Jason Light and the Buccaneers. And I mean, if you got Brady coming back, literally giving his life on the line at 45 years old to be your QB1, Jason Light, you better hit that salary cap and do whatever you need to do to get the right pieces.
I promise you.
Especially protection. You need to keep Tom Brady upright. You don't need this man hitting the floor. Alex Kappa was a big loss, who signed with the Bengals. Brian Jensen, the center, thank God, decided to re-sign with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers amongst the news of Brady coming back. There's just a lot of key pieces that are going to have to fall in place for the Buccaneers to be in that Super Bowl conversation. But I mean, it starts with Tom Brady, so they already got that out of the way. So now everything just needs to fall into place.
Absolutely. So that'll wrap up that topic because we'll be on this all day.
Real quick. Did you guys see the meme of like Brady saying like, "Oh, it's Brady spends 40 days."
Yeah, I did. I think I did see that, Ruth.
I didn't catch it.
But there were so many really good memes, honestly, because there were so many ones that was like Tom Brady was home for the kids for 2 months, and he said, "You know what? I'm going back to work. I can't do this. I'm not.
This ain't it.
This ain't it." So let's move on to the next topic now. Because I know I sent you guys topics obviously, but I want to start with the Jarvis Landry thing first, and then we'll go to Amari Cooper because they pretty much dropped Jarvis Landry to get Amari Cooper. So here's what I'm gonna start with this, right? So Jarvis Landry just got released from the Cleveland Browns. Now, I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with Jarvis Landry on Twitter, but he's been very, very vocal about his time in Cleveland, about the sacrifices that he's made, about how he, put his body on the line, put his career on the line, et cetera, and pretty much Cleveland has paid him dust. So I want to ask you guys this, and I'll pose this question to you, Jay, first. Do you feel like with Cleveland, with Baker Mayfield, with talented receivers, do you feel like Cleveland is kind of a place that they kind of go to die a little bit? Because I'm not even trying to be dramatic. I'm just being real. Like, because you got to think they get a big talent like Odell Beckham. It doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? It flames out a couple years. It got to the point where people were calling Odell washed, that he fell off, that he wasn't the same. He didn't have the explosiveness. He didn't have this, and this. Then he leaves and he goes to the Rams, and it's like, oh, Odell is back. Odell is it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got that, and then Jarvis Landry has always been consistent. Jarvis Landry was the number 1 receiver in Cleveland, but it's like, even he had a drop off after a certain amount of time. So like, who is this on? Is this more on management or is this on Baker?
Ooh, a tough one. I like Baker Mayfield, so I don't want to put it all on him. Maybe 50-50, maybe the management a little bit more. When Baker Mayfield had all those weapons, I was like, oh my gosh, the Browns are about to be good. But maybe it's just like, I'm in Cleveland. I don't know if I could really get hyped for just Cleveland. Like, yeah, LeBron finally brought them a championship, but really it's Cleveland. You know what I mean? I talked about this. OBJ was big name, right? He came from New York. You can't go to New York to Cleveland. What you gonna do over there, right? Like the vibe. He went to LA, big city. He was like, what we do, right? Because
right.
He big city. He LA, right? So I mean, Cleveland Browns. Why is the Browns anyway? But I mean, no. But like, yeah, you just go to die there. Like I'm a Brown. Ooh, no, I don't know. It's a dog, right, or something. I don't know. Anyways, but
yeah, like, they are. Yep.
Yeah, they're dogs, right? Yeah. So I don't know. Like I think. You kind of just do go to die a little bit. And I love Baker Mayfield. I love his heart. Like, I want to see him win and do good. Like, I don't know, people before when he first started, like, oh, he's so arrogant. I don't know. Like, something in my heart, maybe those commercials, was it Allstate? What commercials? I don't know. He's watering the lawn at the field. It's like he's
had quite a few. He's had quite a few.
I don't know. Like, something in my heart just, like, wants him to win. You ain't going to be my Chiefs, but I still want you to win some games. And when he did get all those weapons, I was like, oh, man, they about to be unstoppable, right? But I don't know, management, like, I don't know the way the team is put together, the coach, I don't know what it is, because they've had the weapons, right? Nick Chubb, like, they should be winning. And I mean, not this past year, but the year before that, they came close. Hey, they played against my Chiefs. Patrick went out, so they definitely had a chance to win that game, right, and advance to the playoffs. So, I don't know, but Mayfield does shoot himself in the foot a lot. So I don't know. I'm gonna say management and Baker, maybe 50-50, or maybe management 60, Baker 40%, maybe something like that.
Yeah. Ladies, we're talking about we're talking about the Cleveland Browns right now. This is an organization that's been in the slums for a very, very long time. And Kevin Stefanski is not going to come in and play superhero and make everything better. Baker Mayfield, Heisman Trophy winner, all the respect in college. But when you came to the NFL, you were a little bit of a disappointment. You've been up and down. Yeah, you brought Cleveland out of a no-win season. But, I mean, come on. It's still the Cleveland Browns. Things aren't going to change. It all starts at the top with the front office. I wish luck for Baker Mayfield. There was talks about Baker actually making interest coming to Tampa Bay before Brady decided to I guess unretire. And that was something that people were like, oh, is Brady like, oh, is Baker really trying to take my hold my beer? Hold on. Like he was not having that. And I'm glad that didn't happen. And I'm glad that Tom Brady decided to bless us with his 23rd season here in the Bay. But yeah, big mess in Cleveland. I think Jarvis, he's only 30 years old. I mean, I guess that's a little old for the wide receiver core. He was going into his fifth year option in his in his contract. So I think Cleveland was trying to alleviate some space on that on that salary cap, maybe trying to sign a better player that had, because he did miss 5 games last season due to injury. So maybe they're just kind of looking for longevity. And Jarvis, there's been interest with him going to Kansas City. There's been interest with the Buffalo Bills looking at him as well. So wherever he ends up, he's probably going to have a rebirth just like OBJ.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. I agree with both of you ladies, honestly and truly. But the thing of it is the jury is out on Baker. And that's just the truth. Like, the jury is out on Baker because at the end of the day, Baker is good, but he's not very good. He's not elite. He's not great. Like I said, he had OBJ and Jarvis Landry on opposite sides. It was so bad to the point where people thought that OBJ was a shell of himself. Like, people thought that he had fallen off. People thought that he was washed. People thought that, it was over for him. And then he literally goes to another team and halfway through the season and they go to the Super Bowl. And had he not messed up his knee, he probably would be Super Bowl MVP right now because he was going crazy in that game. So it's like you look at you look at stuff like that, and then, like I said, you look at a guy like Jarvis Landry, who's been Before Odell even came, he was the number one receiver in Cleveland. But every year there was a drop off. There was a drop off. There was a drop off, and it kind of just kept spiraling down. So we have to definitely put a good amount of blame on Baker, but we also have to put a good amount of blame on the coaching staff as well as the front office, because how do you not make that work? You have a defense, you have a run game, and you have two of really solid receivers. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like Jarvis, Odell is elite. Jarvis Landry, elite. Like these are really good receivers, and you got a guy like Nick Chubb, and you have a defense. How do you not have any success with that? So it's like it's kind of like a 60-40 for me. Like I would put 60 on coaching and management, and then 40 on Baker, because it's like, come on, man, you came in with a lot of hype. You got a lot of commercials for somebody that ain't. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you in the spotlight a lot, Baker. I'm gonna need you to actually play like you should be in the spotlight.
If you're getting Patrick Mahomes kind of endorsements, you need to be putting Patrick Mahomes kind of numbers up, and you're not doing that. So that's an issue. Like, a lot of people want to be, you know what I'm saying, they want to scapegoat in it and put it off on everybody else. But let's look at the source. The quarterback is the main source of a team. Like that's the guy. So if you as a quarterback aren't doing your job, everything else, it's a domino effect. Everything else is going to fall apart. But that's just what I think about that. So on the flip side, I'm going to go with Amari Cooper being let go by Dallas, but being picked up by the Cleveland Browns. Now, Ruth, I'm going to start with you. You know I got to start with you because you are the Dallas Cowboys fan. What were your thoughts about what are you
Man, what we're doing in the mess that we're making of this offseason so far, it's only been like, less than a month, maybe a month and a half. Like, it's already making me cringe. And I'm glad that Brady's kind of alleviating some of the pain by coming down here back to the Buccaneers, which makes me look forward to next season, covering the Buccaneers. Hopefully I'll be sidelined once again. But yeah, man, Amari, there's a lot that goes into the Cooper situation, because if you go back to the game that they lost against the 49ers in the playoffs, there was Amari was being very vocal of how disappointed he was of the season, how many targets that he was getting. That apparently this is the story, that he got into a verbal altercation with Dak Prescott following the 49ers loss, and he even called Dak Prescott the Black Kirk Cousins, saying that he's pretty much fooling everybody, making it seem like he deserves to be this top-notch player, but he's not. Wow. You don't see the production on the field. So a lot is peeling in that situation. But I mean, I'm happy that Amari is out. I mean, if you're not happy in the locker room, if you're not happy on the roster that you're on, if you're not happy with management, if you're not happy with your quarterback, it's obviously going to be a toxic situation for you to try to continue your career. So let him free. Let him go out. Let him sign with the Browns, who obviously need to fill that void. Letting go of Jarvis Landry. So I wish all the luck to him. No negatives against Amari Cooper. He did some amazing, spectacular things in Dallas. Do I believe that he should have been paid as a top wide receiver in the NFL? I'm not completely sold on that, but I just feel like he took a lot of cap space for the space for the Dallas Cowboys, and I don't know, it's kind of unraveling before our eyes, and it's just, I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with the draft.
For sure. What about you, Jay? What are your thoughts about Dallas letting go of Amari
stats here right now?
Okay. All right. We like stats at the sports these days. We support stats.
Yeah, we look at a couple things.
Stats, make us seem a little bit more like make our point a little more valid, so always bring the stats.
My show is called Sports by the Numbers. You know what we do. Okay, so 2019, 16 games he played, 79 receptions for 1,189 yards, right? 15.1 he averaged, and he had, his longest catch was a 53-yard, but only 8 touchdowns, right? 2020, he played 16 games, 92 receptions. So his receptions went up, yards went down 1,114, and only 5 touchdowns. Then this past season, 15 games, he played 14, 68 receptions, only 865 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Like, bro, really? Like, what we paying you for? 8, you went down, you had 2019 1,189, then 1,114, and you don't even hit 1,000. this year. 865.
Let's talk
Only
about
8
it.
touchdowns, which matches how many touchdowns you had in 2019. Because you went down in touchdowns in 2020 with 5, bro. Like it was time to go. It was time. I had to go look at the numbers because I actually remember hearing it. They went through the numbers and was like, "We paying you. What was they paying him? 20 million? What was his? I don't know. He was getting paid a lot.
He was getting paid well over 15 million a season.
Yeah. So you getting paid a lot to not do a lot. That's a problem. That's a problem with Amari Cooper. That's a problem. You on the Dallas Cowboys, you on America's team. And y'all already know, like, I live in Texas now. Cowboys behind my Tampa Bay Bucks when Tom Brady's there. They're my NFC team. I want to root for the Cowboys. Cowboys fans, I love y'all. I live in Texas now. Y'all my NFC team. Jerry's World is like no other, okay? If you are a football player, you need to go to Jerry's World. But yeah, it was time. I mean, look at those numbers. I'm like, you don't even break 1,000 yards this year? And we paying you well over 15,865 yards. That's all you gave us, bro. It's time to go. We appreciate your 3 years of service, but go. And like Ruth said, if he didn't, how he felt about Dak, that was toxic. That's never going to be a good thing. You're the wide receiver and your quarterback. Y'all got to be like this. Y'all got to be homies. Y'all got to be like, yeah. If y'all not like that, it just ain't gonna be a good fit. So
it just hurts that Michael Gallup got it. It just hurts that the Dallas Cowboys had Michael Gallup go down the playoffs last season as well, because that's going to be a huge question mark as he heads to free agency as well. So a lot to put together for Jerry. And I mean, at least you have Dak Prescott locked in for the next couple seasons. And obviously there's a big question mark around Ezekiel Elliott as well, as his production has been decreasing. It seems like Tony Pollard is going to be taking that RB1 position for the Dallas Cowboys going into the next season, and I feel like he deserves it. But Amari, you will be missed when you had your golden years, when you were hitting over 1,100 yards a season. But I think it's time for you to go on and be rebirthed in a new place, and it seems like it's going to be Cleveland. And I hope what Jay said is right, that he's not, or Sensei, whoever said it, I hope he's not going there for his career to die. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be I.
Real quick, just I will touch on this. In the comments, we have Jay. I think this is your boo, Ruth. He said, "Go there." You from Chicago?
He's not from Chicago, but he started watching the NFL back in the 80s when when the Bears were like winning Super Bowls and they were actually relevant. So he became a huge Bears fan back in the 80s, and now it's followed him through his adulthood. But I'm trying to convert him to Dallas, but I'm not having much.
Okay, so Ruth, first of all, Ruth, a couple things. You didn't have to do that as far as like when they were relevant. You ain't have to do that. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do that. And number two, yeah, like he just said in here, be nice. Exactly, Ruth, be nice. And
yeah, I should be nice. He's over there cooking me dinner.
Yeah, right. I was saying, shout out to Mike. He over there. He said, "Stay strong, Bears, baby." I see you. Our brother Mike. I see you, Frank. But also shout out to Ruth the Truth. Her boo. You know what I'm saying? He be supporting us and everything like that. So shout out to him. But moving on from the NFL to the NBA. Okay. So recently we just had Kevin Durant. They played against Philly. They also played at home against the Knicks. KD went berserk. But the story from that game was how Kevin Durant, after the game, because as we all know that Kyrie cannot play home games. He's allowed to attend, but he's not allowed. Hey, Kat, what's going on?
Guys, meet Pluto.
Hey, Pluto. Pluto said, I actually would like to be on the show. Thanks. No, but he said, but the big story was obviously, like I said, Kyrie cannot play home games, but he's allowed to sit on the bench, which is the silliest thing in the world that I've ever heard. But that's another story for another day. So he's allowed to sit on the bench. And the big story that was after the game was how Kevin Durant in the press conference called out the New York City mayor and pretty much said that he was looking for attention in regards to this whole mandate and the vaccine and stuff like that. So I'm going to start with you, Jay. What do you think about KD calling out the mayor of New York City in regards to this whole mandate rule? Do you think that this is something that this will be a two-part question. So do you think that this is something that should be lifted? Because let's be honest, like Kyrie being able to sit courtside and not being able to set foot on the court makes absolutely no sense. So, but what do you think, Jay? That's just my opinion.
Here's the thing. Jay? That's true. It's like, why even have him in the building at all? Like, you need to be right. That makes no sense. But like to each his own in different states, right? We know New York was hit really hard with COVID. That was it was hit very, very hard. I know Illinois has their own restrictions, right? I live in Texas, a red state. Then okay, we opened back up at the end of April 2020. Okay, we was like one of the first. So I know we don't care, but Kyrie, just get the shot, bro. Like really, you're gonna be fine. Everybody else got it. Like whatever. But it is ridiculous that the mayor. It's like you shouldn't even have him in the building. That don't make any sense. But I'm not gonna say if certain states feel like they need to really have a mandate in general, because I know Illinois is really strong on that. I'm from Chicago or whatever. So to me it's state by state, but like he shouldn't even be allowed to come to the game. Like, right, you got to be at home. But at the end of the day, Kyrie, get the shot, bro. Just get the shot. Everybody got the shot. I don't know all what's in it. I got the shot. Like, just do it, bro. Like, you could play and be sick, keep people safe, whatever. I mean, don't act like, COVID's a big deal. Yo, we're still dealing with it right now. It's in 2022, y'all. It's this is March. Almost I remember March 20th was the last day they said, go home. You're going to start working from home in 2020. Like, dude, we're 2 years in, bro. Just, you to me, you just want attention. Like, really, you other fellow players have gotten it. They're okay. You might have a little bit of side effects. You know what I mean? Like, he's made it, Kyrie in itself has just made it a big hoopla. But yeah, Mayor, if you go and do the mandate, Kyrie can't even set foot in the stadium. I mean, let him be at home then. You know what I'm saying? It is stupid, but I guess they're like, we just don't want you breathing, sweating running up and down the court, sweating all on everybody and breathing on them, I guess. But yeah, I
think what the biggest thing with this situation is that there's 1,300 people, or even I forgot what the number was. I think it might have been 13,000 people that lost their jobs in the city of New York because of this vaccine mandate. So they can't sit around and be like, oh, well, Kyrie, everybody else lost their job, but since you're a basketball player and you're famous, we're gonna let you be the exception. That's something that they just can't do. There's gonna bring way too much controversy to follow with that. And, Kyrie has always been in the spotlight for controversy. So it kind of it seems well fitting to be in this situation. But it's kind of sad that I almost feel like his teammates are rocking with him so heavy that they're not letting them know how badly it's hurting the team. I mean, I can't remember what their record is with Kyrie, without Kyrie, but it's actually Kyrie is not there. And going into the playoffs, going into these long 7-game series, you're going to need Kyrie to be there to support the team, to help Kevin Durant, who obviously just lost the help of James Harden, or lack thereof, I should say. So, Kyrie, it's a really big deal that you get this vaccine. I think at this point, people are just trying to prove the point. We got to remember that Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, was not in office when this mandate came into effect. So he did not set the rules. So it's something that, even though people are trying to point the finger at him, like, why aren't you making the changes? He's just doing his job, and he's just trying to do the best that he can. So I think the situation it's all going to come down to Kyrie taking the shot. And if he decides that he wants to stay unvaccinated, then you're just not going to play when your team really needs you. And that's just what it is.
Yeah. So here's my take on this. I agree and disagree at the same time. Like, I agree with what you guys are saying because it's absolutely true. But at the same time, you can't force somebody to get something that they're not comfortable with. That at the end of the day, that's just what it is. Like, he has his own reasons. Obviously, we don't know that. He hasn't disclosed those reasons, but he has his own reason as to why that he doesn't want to do that. And like, there's a lot of people that are like him. Kyrie ain't the only Kyrie. It's just because it's Kyrie Irving and he's out and he's a basketball player, like you said, Ruth. He's in the NBA, so it's a lot more prevalent because he's on national TV and he's making all these millions of dollars. But there's a million Kyries out here that think the same exact thing. And just, like, at the end of the day, like, the people that lost their jobs, like, I don't think that that's fair for them to lose their jobs because, like I said, at the end of the day, the vaccine hasn't affected everybody the same. Like, there's been certain people that it's done wonders for and they've been perfectly fine. And then there's some people that they've gotten vaccinated and they've had side effects, really bad side effects. So it's just like, you can't, like, how are you going to, like, hold somebody's feet to the fire and say you have to do, you can't do that. It's just like, getting routine shots throughout life as an adult. Everybody don't do that. Everybody don't believe in that. So it's just like, you can't, it gets really tricky, honestly, on both sides of the spectrum, because I see people, the people that they've been affected by it, that have lost family members, things of that nature. Like, I understand that part of it. And they, works for them. But there's, like I said, there's also people that didn't get the shot that did get the shot, and it was a negative effect for them. So I understand their side of their perspective of it too. So like I said, at the end of the day, like it wouldn't be fair to just excuse it because he's a basketball player, but it doesn't make any sense to be like, you can come to the game but you can't run on the court. Like,
right. Yeah.
So I can sit courtside, but where I can still, if I have COVID, I can still affect the people that are next to me or behind me, or the people that I shake hands with, or my teammates when they come up and they shake hands with me. Like, I can still affect them by sitting courtside, but I can't play.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird how they allowed him courtside. Obviously, he bought his own ticket, so they can't really stop who buys a ticket. But I mean, he went into the locker room at halftime too, so it's kind of like, I don't understand what we're doing here. If you guys are going to say that he's not allowed to play, then he shouldn't be allowed in the locker room. He shouldn't be allowed to engage with his teammates during the game. Like, it's just weird to me.
Which he did get, the Brooklyn Nets got fined for allowing him to come in the locker room. So that is something that came out. They did get fined $50K for the fact that he was in the locker room. But again, that doesn't make sense because on away games, he's in the locker room too.
Yeah.
So like it's not making sense. Like at the end of the day, like I think what it is, honestly, it's one of those situations where they don't want to concede because then it looks like he's right.
Did the players?
Because, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Did the Players Association? What's the rule on that, or what did they say? Like,
the Players Association pretty much is that if you're in a state where it's mandated, you have to get it.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much. If it's not mandated, then they can't. There's nothing that they can really do. Because I know, like I said, I live in California. It was mandated at first before the season started, but now since it's been progressively like going through the year, it's not mandated anymore. And there was other states that it wasn't mandated. So if it wasn't mandated in your particular state, then you don't have to get it. But if it is mandated, they require you to get it, or because that's a government law at that point. Like they can't go over the government.
Yeah, it's bigger than basketball, ladies.
Definitely it's bigger than. But like I said, it just doesn't make any sense because, like I said, if you're finding them because he's in the locker room at a home game, but when they go on the road, he's in the locker room too. And he's playing.
The whole thing is stupid. I mean, right?
I just think it's gotten bigger than like Ruth said, it's bigger than basketball because it's gotten to the point where, like I said, I just don't feel like they just don't want to concede. It feels like if they lift the mandate, they're basically conceding to him because he was so adamant about not getting the vaccine, and he was so adamant about not knowing what's in it and it being man-made and it being unhealthy and it being this, that, and that. So it's gonna look like he was right. And the last thing that they want to do, especially for somebody like Kyrie who bucked the system so as hard as he did, they don't want to prove him right.
Yeah. Well, so with Kyrie, I don't really feel like he's worried about so much about what's in it and the effect. I think he's more about the control. Kyrie does not want to be contained. Kyrie does not want to be told what to do because he's a superstar. He won NBA championship. He thinks he's above LeBron. Like, it's just, there's a whole lot of things. I think it just comes down to personality and just being that child that does not want to listen to their parents because they feel like they're just better than the law.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point, Ruth. You hit the nail on the head with that one. That's actually a really good point because he definitely is a guy who strikes me as somebody that does not want to be controlled or told what to do or to, what I'm saying? He doesn't want to follow everybody else. He wants to be his own man, which, like I said, is fine. But like you said, Ruth, at the same time, he who wears the crown is heavy is the head that wears the crown, basically. So if you're gonna take that stance, there's a lot that comes with that, which I think Kyrie is built for because he stuck his foot in the sand and he hasn't wavered from that. He hasn't wavered from it at all. Like, what I'm saying? He knows he can't play in the home games. He still hasn't got vaccinated. So it's like, I don't think it don't really, click in his mind that way. But moving. Go ahead, Jay.
I was just gonna say, Ricky Smith comment, this is much bigger than basketball. he just watched the news and there's another variant in an Asian country. Like, it really is, though. I mean, this is bigger than all this. When all this first started and people opted out to play, like in the NFL season, people just opted out. People, all this. Again, we're 2 years into this, and it's just like, I do agree with you guys. Like, it's more about his control, and we talked about if Kyrie even still cared about basketball that much at the beginning when we started the show, because of his nonchalant. Like, he's just different in so many different ways now. Like, I don't even know. But
right. Did you guys catch that jacket that he was wearing too?
That was fly. Hey, that was fly. That trench coat with you gotta look it up, sis. You gotta look it up. It's like
it was like bedazzled and like there was like some graphics on it. Like,
oh man, that jacket was nice.
I feel really like it was nice. Definitely trying to tell the story. Like, I don't know, like I was getting like.
It was clean.
I don't care about Kyrie enough to even know what he wear. Like, I really feel some way about the New Jersey Nets, Kevin Durant and Kyrie. So I just really stay away from them.
Yeah, we can't really talk about the Nets too much. Jay don't really.
Yeah, we gonna move.
Oh, and I got you ladies with the NBA update right now with the heavy hitter matchup between the Denver Nuggets going to the 76ers. Are playing in Philly right now. The Denver Nuggets are down 16-31 with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in the first quarter.
Wow.
So I'll be giving you guys some updates. Yeah, I mean, the 76ers were in overtime last night against the Orlando Magic. Ladies, did you just hear what I said? They were in overtime with the Orlando Magic. Holy crap, I did not see that. Cole Anthony.
So listen,
Jonathan Isaac.
While we're on the Sixers, because they weren't necessarily a topic in this episode, but I do want to throw this out there because I want to get you guys' thoughts, because I was on Just Said the Truth, so we were able to talk about it a little bit. What do you guys think about this whole situation with the Nets and the Sixers? Now, here, allow me to break it down a little bit. Let me elaborate a little bit. So there's been a report that had come out that said basically that James Harden and Kyrie Irving were playing one-on-one in practice pretty frequently, and they were saying that Kyrie had beat James every single time. And so not only that, but what he was saying to James is pretty much like, you're washed up, like you're washed, like I got your number, and to the point where they had to be separated. So then we also go into the game where they recently just played some nights ago, and Kyrie was guarding James Harden throughout that game. Pretty much the whole game he was guarding him, and James Harden had a rough night. So do we think
just got waxed?
They got waxed, and so a few things. This is probably like a 3-part question, honestly and truly, because 1, do we think that there's truth to that report? 2 is, does this spell something bad for Philly? Should they not trust James Harden the way that they are? Because, to them, James Harden is the savior. He's the missing piece. He's willing to shoot, all of these things. And then 3, who won the trade?
Jay, I was saying it from the beginning.
Ruth, I'll start with you.
Jay, go ahead. Are you sure? Okay, I'll start.
I want to look up some numbers. Go ahead, Ruth.
Yeah, Ruth,
so when the trade deadline hit, and I saw that the 76ers were sending off Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, draft picks, as well as Ben Simmons to the Brooklyn Nets, automatically I said they won the trade. I mean, James Harden alone, I understand the capacity of the player that you're bringing to the table, but you guys got to look at the history. You guys got to look at the playoff history when it came to James Harden. There's a lot to unfold when it comes to Harden. He is not that cookie cutter player that everybody wants him to be, especially when it comes crunch time. So I always thought the Brooklyn Nets won that trade. We saw Seth Curry have a hell of a game against the 76ers as well. And I know that Doc Rivers had said that he lost some sleep after trading Seth Curry away, because the biggest thing to find in the NBA is somebody who can shoot threes, but also can play defense. So you're going to look for that sharpshooter in Seth Curry that can also play defense and has handles. So I always thought the Brooklyn Nets won that trade, and we saw it unfold when the Brooklyn Nets took on the 76ers in Philly. And you guys got to remember, everybody was talking about Ben Simmons and, he's returning to Philly. He wasn't even played, so I don't even know why that was such a big deal because it's not like these Philly fans were going to have an opportunity to, knock Ben Simmons off his mojo while he was on the floor because he didn't even, lace up during that game. But I mean, he started off by saying F Ben Simmons, having a whole heyday with that to actually booing their own team. So a lot to unfold with the 76ers. I'm hoping that Joel Embiid and James Harden can continue to mesh well and see how far they go in the playoffs.
What date did the 76ers go? When did James Harden go to the 76ers? Do y'all know the date?
The trade deadline was what? February
something.
Yeah, it was mid-February.
Let me look real quick. Give me a second.
Trade deadline.
Yeah,
NBA trade deadline.
Oh, Ruth, you got it because you're on your computer, so it probably.
It's February 12th. It closed at 3 p.m. on February 12th.
Okay, so they have won. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so basically, it looks like about 10 games they won 7 of them with James Harden. About that 10 or 11 games they won 7.
Yeah,
so it's not bad, but I feel like they could have still won those games without him, right? You know what I mean? Embiid's putting up MVP numbers, right? So you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Here's the thing, right? If James Harden is on his mojo and he's top health condition wise, I still think he's one of the top 10 players in the NBA. If he's on his A game, right? If he's at his highest level. When he's not, I still think he did the Houston Rockets dirty and just coming back all sloppy and overweight and whatever, right? When he's on his game, again, one of the top 10 players. But clearly the New Jersey Nets bang them. So it's like, bro, James Harden, you ain't doing that. He lazy though. It's like, I don't really want to go for the thing if he ain't getting the fouls. You know what I'm saying? He feels like he's a superstar, and so he ain't getting those ticky-tack fouls he used to get, right? And he'd be mad I come down again. That's me. I jumped into old boy's body and woo, right? So it's like, dude, you lazy. You just getting your money. You're a superstar now. You hopping around to different teams. You want to go Nets so you could be a NBA Finals contender. Now you're going to 76ers, hopping on Embiid's coattails because he's having this, MVP year. So hopefully y'all go real far in the 76ers. He don't care no more. He just collecting a check and playing. Basically, so we can say the Nets went ahead and won that trade then based off of that. But it's like you have the big name of James Harden still, and if he gets A+ on his game, he definitely. But to know that Kyrie banged him in every game that they played, but I'm like, James, do you even care? Because I feel like the top A+ James Harden definitely would give Kyrie a run for it. To me, would be better than Kyrie, to be honest. If he really,
I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't think that Harden can keep up with Kyrie's agility. I think Kyrie is too quick with it. I think James Harden gets gassed when it comes to playing defense. And when you play in one-on-one, you don't have an opportunity to stand up straight and try to catch your breath. And I think Kyrie just in that category, there's no comparison. Kyrie over Harden.
It really comes down to lazy. You don't play defense. How many games did we watch where they make all these memes or all these things?
But here's the thing with that too, and I'm gonna piggyback off of Ruth a little bit. Honestly, neither one of them play defense. If we're gonna be all the way honest, Kyrie's not a defensive stopper. He's not somebody that's you gonna put Kyrie on somebody to lock him down. That's not Kyrie's game. But I think, like I said, with how Ruth said it, Kyrie has his bag is too deep, and if you already don't play defense, he gonna eat you alive because his bag is too deep. And on this Nets team now, the Nets team now currently constructed, Kyrie don't have to be a defensive stopper no more. He don't have to. I mean, or at all really, because he never, like I said, he never was. But he doesn't have to be that because he has. If he let's say for instance. He gets beat on defense. He got he got Andre Drummond on one side and Kevin Durant on the other.
So right.
So he don't gotta be Ron Artest.
And Ben Simmons on the way.
Ben Simmons on the way. He don't gotta be Ron Artest.
All of his footwork and his crossovers and all that. Yes, those are very nice. They are, but I'm saying if James Harden is really at his 100%, and we saw him step back and do whatever, yeah, defense. No, he's never been known for his defense, but pure like shooting ability. And Kyrie's great too, though. But again, to me, James Harden, when he's on his A+ game, not defense, but even if they were just shooting, right, like. James Harden is still a better player than Kyrie. Like on his 100%. When we saw him the beginning with the Rockets, when they had CP3 and they almost beat the Warriors, when they were that all of this stuff. Like James Harden, I would be like, yes, on his top game is still a better player than Kyrie. Like, yeah, Kyrie got handles and stuff, and okay, defense. Like James Harden's lazy. He's always been lazy on defense, but he's swishing in your eye more than Kyrie. I'm sorry. I just I get what you're saying. Like he got the handles and it's like this, that, but no. And his top peak, James Harden, in his top best peak, he's better than
Kyrie was winning championships.
But here's
Kyrie was winning championships. James was almost being Golden Warriors. Kyrie was winning championships.
Jay, hold on.
No. When Kyrie did not have LeBron James, it wasn't even making the playoffs. Okay, Harden
correct.
Carried the team to the playoffs. Please believe.
But Jay, here's what you're right, but you're right, but you're wrong. And you're right, but you're wrong. But let me tell you, you're right, but you're wrong.
Sensei, go.
Because here's why you're right. Because you're right. Kyrie was definitely not having playoff success without LeBron. However, no, he can't. However, James can't either. Because James also
got you to the playoffs.
James,
though. Yes,
he did. But here's the thing:
yes.
Kyrie also got.
He made the Rockets relevant, right? Because when he left, the Rockets too.
You're right, but here's what I'm saying: James and Kyrie both led their teams to the playoffs without having star players. They flamed out, and then they got star players who maximize their potential with their star player the most. Kyrie, hold on, let me finish. Kyrie did. Kyrie maximized the most of his potential with the star player. Granted, it was LeBron, but it's still at the end of the day, when his number was called and it was time for Kyrie to beat Kyrie, Kyrie was Kyrie. If we look at when James Harden was called on, when it was time for him to beat James Harden, the MVP candidate and MVP winner that we know, he was not that guy. He was not that guy. He had Chris Paul. He had a prime Dwight Howard. Like, he had opportunity. Like, they were up 2-1 on the Golden State Warriors. They blew it. And James Harden was a major part of that. They missed 27 threes straight.
Yes, because they tried to be like the Golden State Warriors and shoot threes. That's not y'all game. Go to the hole. Why y'all trying to be like the Golden State Warriors?
It is because James Harden is a scorer. He scores from anywhere on
that
the floor.
Was because D'Antoni is an idiot coach and said, "Hey, let's live or die by the three." That's what that really was. James Harden had an opportunity by the three. When they were
James Harden had an opportunity to beat the San Antonio Spurs. Do you know what happened in that game? He scored 8 points.
Hold on, let me ask you a question. What year? Points. What season? Because when LeBron wasn't on the Cleveland Cavaliers, I wasn't paying attention. Tell me what season did Kyrie lead?
That was because he came. Okay, so Brian came back.
Hey, Ruth, I'm about to tell you
off the dome. I don't even need to leave it up. I need to look it up
what
because
was that? Ruth,
Brian came back 2015. Because that was the first year that they played against the Warriors and they lost because Kyrie was out and Kevin Love was out. So I want to say the year that the Cavaliers made the playoffs, it either has to be 2014 or 2013. But go ahead and Ruth, look it up. Look it up, Ruth.
The truth.
So what am I looking up exactly? You said what season did Kyrie
make the playoffs without Bron? Without Bron. Yeah, 2013 to 2014.
Was it not his rookie year when he made rookie of the year in 2012?
It might have been. Okay, so it was 2012.
Yeah, I think it 2012. Yeah, when he won rookie of the year.
First, okay, and we already know these are the really thinking the playoffs in a stacked. I'm sorry. Like, to me, James Harden made even though they didn't get to the championship, he made the Houston Rockets more relevant than Kyrie made.
Because Kyrie had LeBron. Yeah, because listen, that's true, but at the same time, there's a flip to that because at the end of the day, like
he was in the West.
James,
it's true, but James, in the Wild West, he in the Easy East. Come on,
but James Harden ain't got a. But James Harden didn't have to follow after LeBron. If you anybody,
who gives a shit? You in the Easy East, and he in the Wild West. Come on, yo. Let's be real.
Listen, all I'm saying is when the game, we can be real, but all I'm saying is when the game is on the line, who you gonna trust, Kyrie or James Harden?
A1 Harden, yes. Kyrie,
when have we
made your shot? Thank you for LeBron did the block. You made your shot. Thank you, but Kyrie can. How I feel about Kyrie. And James Harden was in the Wild West. Come on.
But when has James Harden been A1 in those moments? He hasn't. That's the point.
I don't care if he didn't take him to the championship. If he made the Houston Rockets relevant, him. Right? He made them relevant. Kyrie was in playoffs in his rookie year when he wasn't hurt because he always hurt. Come on, in the Easy East, you should have been making them to the playoffs every time when you didn't have LeBron.
We're basing this off of relevance.
Wild West, come on.
Are we basing this off? We're basing this off of relevance because at the end of the day, I don't care about relevance. I care about facts.
Kyrie made the shot, right? He made the shot.
He made multiple shots. And that ain't just the only shot he's made. He's made multiple shots. Kyrie is
that's the only real shot. That's the only shot that matters. The shot that got you the championship. That's the only shot that matters. What you did? What else you did? You made the shot to give y'all the championship.
But James has had that same opportunity. He's had that same opportunity, and he's folded every time. James has had 8 points, 10 points, 11 points.
Next subject. We're gonna agree to disagree, Sensei. We agree to disagree.
At the end of the day, who got a ring on their finger? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
LeBron James is your fucking teammate. You better have a ring on your finger. Shit. Hell yeah, you better. When LeBron James on your fucking team, you better have a ring on your motherfucker.
So you're saying if James Harden
James Harden was with LeBron? Come on.
If James Harden's in that same situation, he's not doing that.
He's not in the Easy East.
He's not doing that. James Harden.
Next subject.
He's not. No, I gotta get mine. I gotta get mine off because at the end of the day,
go ahead.
If James Harden is in that same, we do, but if James Harden is in that same situation as Kyrie, he's not hitting that shot, bro. With even LeBron or not, he's not built like that. James Harden is not built like that. At the end of the day, he ain't built like that. But let's go to the. We're gonna go to the next. We're gonna go to the next subject. So look.
Go ahead.
So Klay Thompson, right? They just played against the Milwaukee Bucks. Klay Thompson went off for 38. Obviously he just came back this year. He's been struggling. He's been kind of trying to find his place a little bit, trying to get his footing back up under him. But this was the first game that we saw the Klay Thompson of old. Like we saw, flashes of like Splash Brothers Klay. So with this game, does this mean that Klay is back, or is it still a work in progress? Does he still have to ease his way in? What are we thinking? So anybody can go. It don't matter.
Go ahead, Ruth. My voice is strained.
Yeah, you need to drink some water. You need to just get back together. So Klay Thompson is almost back to full form. I think when Draymond Green returns, we're really going to see what the Golden State Warriors are made of. Obviously, having the heart of your defense on the bench is just not. Yeah, I mean, we can all admit the Warriors went through a little bit of a slump in the past couple weeks. So with Draymond being out, so I think once he's back in full form, they're gonna have that championship caliber team back together. And Klay Thompson just seems to be really kind of fitting in exactly where he left off. So I'm happy for him right now. He's getting more and more comfortable. He's putting more pressure on that leg, not playing scared. So I'm glad that Klay Thompson is back to full form, and I'm excited to see what the Golden State Warriors do in the West when it comes to playoff time. Because I mean, we got Memphis creeping in at number 2 now. Now they're sitting at number 3. So the West is getting pretty interesting.
Yeah, what do you think, Jay?
I want to say I'm a fan of Klay Thompson. I mean, it's good what they're doing. Warriors are relevant again. Steph was making them relevant last year, in the playing game and everything. LeBron just hit that shot in his eye. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a Warriors fan because you already know how I operate. The team that beats my team is my enemy, right? So every time they beat the Cavaliers with LeBron was on the team, right? I can't really mess with them. But I'll never deny the Splash Brothers. I never deny Clay's talent. After being off for a full 2 years, but for him to come back as we see him getting stronger each and every game, like it's good to see. You never want to see a player go down with an injury, especially in an injury that sidelines you for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? So I wish him all the luck. They're number 3 right now. It's interesting to see how this is all shaking up, right? Number 1 is the Suns, and number 2 is the Grizzlies, but they're back by 7.5 games. You know what I mean? But Warriors right there, number 3, back 8 games. Then you got the Jazz back 11.5, Mavericks 12. So it's kind of a toss up right in those, first 5 positions or whatever. It's going to be interesting as we go. We already know the West is the Wild Wild West. So but it's interesting to see now the Trailblazers in the 11th spot, a team that we thought would be high. It's interesting how it kind of goes. My Lakers sitting at 9. I just want us to get to 6 so we don't have to do the play-in game, I think, right? 8, 9, 10. Yeah. So trying to make that happen. But yeah, I wish Klay Thompson all the best of luck. If you ask me as a fan, do I want to see the Warriors in the top in the West? No, because I know how hard they're going to beat. You know what I mean? I know how hard they're going to beat. So, but again, hats off to Klay Thompson. He's looking more and more like himself every day.
Absolutely. I would say the same thing. It was really nice to see Klay have that kind of game, because I feel like, and I've said this before, I feel like when it comes to media and it comes to fans of sports, especially the NBA, we get so caught up in the moment. We get so caught up in the right now. And, Klay hasn't been playing the greatest because obviously, like, everybody ain't KD. Everybody ain't going to have an ACL injury and come back and be an MVP candidate. And Klay has never been on a KD level. Like, he's a role player. Like, he knows his role. I play defense. I catch and shoot. KD is a lot more versatile. Like, he's more, like, you know what I'm saying? So there's more to expect from somebody like KD. Like, for somebody like Klay, of course, it's going to take a little bit more time for him to return to form because he's not used, you know what I'm saying? Like, he has a certain role that he has to play and he has to fill. So when you play that certain role, and especially when it comes to defense, and a lot of defense is your legs, and he had 2 major leg injuries. So it's like there's a lot to factor in, you know what I'm saying? And him getting back in NBA shape, like Klay ain't played in damn near like 2 years. So you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to consider that as well. So I was glad that Klay, reminded people, and it was just like, give me some time. Like, it kind of like gave people a little bit more perspective and say, okay, like, let's give Klay, let's be a little bit more realistic about Klay. Like, let's give him a little bit more of an edge. Let's give him a little bit more of a space to go back to being the Klay Thompson that we know and that we're used to. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, Klay is still Klay. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's not that old. Like, he's still, you know what I'm saying, has a lot of his same intangibles. Is, like I said, he was out for 2 years. Like, you got to give that man time. You got to give him time. But it was good that he was able to have this game against the defending champions and the Milwaukee Bucks. That was a tough game. It was a home game. And, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, he just reminded people, like, I'm still Klay Thompson. Just give me some time. Let me just work my way back. Because once I get back, then it might get different. You know what I'm saying?
And obviously, Steve Kerr is also getting more comfortable with Klay Thompson because he's getting more and more playing time as the season progresses. The last 3 games, he played 33 minutes, scoring 38 points against the Milwaukee Bucks. So it's obviously that the coaching staff for the Golden State Warriors are putting more trust into him because he's trusting himself even more. So I think it's only up for the Golden State Warriors from here on out. I think losing a lot of key players last season and being at the position that they were in put a chip on their shoulder. And I think Klay Thompson and Steph Curry alongside Draymond Green is ready to get another chip.
Absolutely. I think so as well. And I think, Ruth, you pointed that out as well. We got to see what they look like when Stray comes back, because I think people are also starting to see how significant Draymond Green is to that Warriors team, because the Warriors, they predicate a lot of what they do well off of Draymond, because Draymond does a lot of the dirty work. Draymond initiates a lot of the offense, because Steph he's not a true point guard. He's a shooting guard that can run point from time to time. Draymond Green, on the other hand, is somebody that can bring the ball up, can set up the offense, can, direct people to go different ways. Draymond Green is pretty much the quarterback of that team, and he allows the great players on that team to be great because he does a lot of the stuff that they, not to say that they can't do, but they may necessarily not want to do. And it's like it makes their job a lot easier because they don't have to do as much because Draymond takes on so much of that responsibility. So it makes it a lot better for them. So, but yeah, I'm not gonna really judge the Warriors until they get Draymond back. But like I said, it was really good to see Clay get back to being Clay, and I mean the swag and the face, and like I loved all of that. And I'm not even.
I love the headband, by the way.
Yeah,
I love the headband. I love the new look.
And like I said, I'm not even a Warriors fan, but I do appreciate Clay's game because that was I played basketball as well, and I was pretty much a Klay Thompson. I was a catch and shoot, and I could play defense. So Clay, I'm here with you, big dog. So you know what I'm saying. let these people know. But we have one more topic, but we've been going for a pretty long time, so I'm gonna save that topic for probably next episode. But this is.
But we will stop and say congratulations to LeBron James for hitting 10,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 10,000 assists. We got to give the man his flowers. LeBron James playing at an elite level at this point in your life. 37. Wait, is he 38? No, I think he's still 37.
He's 37. He's 37.
Still,
LeBron's the same age. LeBron's the same age.
I'm gonna say he just turned 37 in December, and
he had like what 52 games back. Were they back to back?
No, they were in the week. So he had 250-point game outputtings in the week, and he's also the oldest player to lead the league in scoring right now at 29. I think it's 29.5 at this particular moment. So you gotta give LeBron his kudos, regardless of what you feel about him. That man is incredible because it hasn't been too many guys in the NBA level at 37 that has been able to still be dominant and still be able to put up 50 points like that. So you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta give my man his props. You gotta give him his salute. Tip your hat to him for sure. So shout out to him. Also, I think there was shot, and also I just want to take this moment really quick to say this, and we can wrap it up after this. I just have to say this though. I would like the record to reflect, and my Q's can definitely vouch for me on this. I would like to say that I had Ja Morant in my top 5 NBA players for this season. Okay, I was right. I just wanted the record to reflect that I was right, because when I put him in my top 5, I got, you're crazy. He needs a couple more. I was right. They call me the Senseis for a reason, guys. I just want to throw that out there. I just really want the record to reflect. You know, Jay yelled at me today. I wasn't ready for that, but it's okay. I was still right. You know,
this how we get into it, right? This how we get into it. It's all love. It's all love. That's how we gotta be passionate about our point of view.
I'm joking. I'm literally joking.
I love it.
But yes, this will wrap up another episode of the Sports Senseis. We will be back next week, but we will be back next week on Tuesdays instead of Mondays. But we will be on Tuesdays at the same time. So make sure that y'all tune in and y'all check us out for sure. Ruth the Truth. I'm just so happy Ruth is back. Like, Ruth is back. Like,
I missed y'all, bro. I missed y'all. I've been like
MIA for like 3 weeks.
I've been living. I mean, I don't even know. I've been all over the place. I swear I've taken like 12 flights in the past like 3 weeks.
Can I go on one of
these? Yeah. My birthday's coming up, so I'm trying to go to Vegas for like. I'm trying to go to Vegas for like 3 days for my birthday in April. If you guys are down to meet me out there, April 18th is my birthday. Yes.
Wait, hold on.
April what?
April 18th.
April 18th.
Okay, so Ruth, listen. Ruth, listen to me for a second. I'm literally in. I'm in Sacramento. I'm in Sacramento. I'm not far from Vegas at all. Vegas is an hour flight from me.
Oh,
I can get a Vegas flight for like $50.
Oh,
so if you really try to make that happen, sister, call your girl.
Okay, I will know for sure probably within like the next like week or so. So I'll let you ladies know. But yeah, I'm trying to bring in this new year 29, my last year, my 20s. So I'm trying to go all out.
So, yeah, you gotta go hard. My birthday's in June, and we celebrate.
Me too, Jay.
You really celebrate all.
You Geminis? Are you both Geminis?
Yeah.
No. We're not both Geminis. I'm a Cancer.
Did I just tell you something?
I'm a Cancer.
Hey,
my man's a Gemini, so I just get along with Geminis, I guess.
My boo is an Aries, and his birthday is actually April 17th. So I see it's his birthday too. So I'm like, you want to go to Vegas? We go see Root the Truth. And Jay, he's a Bears fan. My boo is a Bears fan too. So him and Jay could, you know what I mean?
They will get along great.
Yeah. So Jay Nicole, really quick, when's your birthday again?
June 10th. It's Gemini.
Okay,
And we celebrate all month. You know, Gemini's actually we celebrate all month, baby. I already got stuff going on. I'm already planning it out. You know,
I'm about to say I'm a Cancer. I'm June 21st. I start the summer off. You're welcome.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So,
Cancers.
So you know what I'm saying? So Jay's June 20. Oh, you gotta turn up.
Gemini. Wait, okay, Ruth, look at this. So you're an Aries, your boo's a Gemini, I'm a Gemini, my boo is an Aries.
I just said that. I said I'm dating a Gemini. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Jay, and your name begins with a J. That's my boo. I gotta meet him.
His name is no. His name is Jay, like Jay. That's his real name. Yeah.
Hey Jay, I gotta holler at Jay. Me and Jay gotta talk.
You see that long last name? His parents weren't trying to torture him like
that. How do you say that?
Mermelstein. Yeah.
Yeah,
he's Russian.
So Sports Senseis fans, we will be in Vegas April 18th.
Come meet us out there. You guys can do a meet and greet. We'll be doing autographs on the strip.
Listen, it's $10 a picture. It's $5 an autograph.
And I'll be accepting flowers as a birthday gift, and I ain't talking about the ones that smell like. No,
and you can cash app us at Valentine Senseis, the Sports Sensei. Look.
We need to stop. We gotta go. We
take cat. Hold on, real quick. We take Cash App, Venmo, Zelle. We take
all of it. PayPal.
We take PayPal.
Hey, Jamie Hernandez, Gemini do run this shit. That's right, bro.
Yeah. Right. Y'all are awesome.
Listen, in June, I'm gonna be on the East Coast. I'm gonna be in the New York, Philly, and DC area. So y'all can come pull up to that as well. But anyway, we're gonna end this show because we're talking crazy.
We are. In June, I'm going to the Chi. So I'm going back home. So y'all want to get Chicago towards the end of the month, I'm gonna roll through, you know.
I've always wanted to check out Chicago in the summer because I went in September in the fall time and it was already cold. So I would love to see what it's like in the summer.
Hey, Sensei, we from there too, Sensei. Get back home. The weekend
I gotta get back home.
The weekend, that Friday is June 24th. Let's hit it up. Your birthday. I mean, we all should go to. What we do?
Yeah, I honestly.
What we doing?
Listen, we got a group chat, so we gonna hang.
Okay, we're gonna work it out.
But I appreciate y'all checking out another episode of the Sports Senseis. My girl Ruth the Truth, my girl Jay Nicole. As always, ladies, it's been a pleasure. Y'all make sure y'all tune in next Tuesday at the same time because we bringing the heat the same way we brought it today, and we gonna keep going and we gonna keep doing what we do. Love y'all, man. We out this thing.
Let's fucking go.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a place. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so type the laces. All sports, all plays.